There's a lot of research activity in the Gen AI world on mixture of experts. That term refers to an ensemble learning technique that combines knowledge from specialized resources to produce final outputs. Since the experts are specialized in different things, the overall model can leverage each of their strengths. These experts can be models or networks or layers in a network. And there's also a gating model that determines how much influence to give to each expert. This idea has been applied to language models and to computer vision and to reinforcement learning and other situations where models might benefit from specialized experts. But there are some things about this that are still not very efficient. It's good to recall that the layers responsible for storing factual information in a transformer model account for about 2/3 of all the parameters in the model. And the computational demands of models grow directly in proportion to the number of parameters. So a lot of current research is devoted to reducing the computational demands of those methods, including these studies you see here. Then, earlier this year, this very important paper introduced a new hyperparameter, granularity, and went on to derive a new scaling law for mixture of experts models, which you can see validated here by the orange dots against a fitted line. The authors demonstrate that a mixture of experts will always be more efficient than a traditional transformer at any model size, as illustrated here, where the dotted line is a traditional transformer model. The implication of this is that our quest to further scale model capacity will likely lead to new types of models with very high granularity and a vast number of tiny experts. Currently, the number of experts for smaller models varies between 4 and 32, and it ranges up to 128 for most of the bigger ones. So, that sets us up for this latest paper where Xu He introduces what he calls parameter-efficient expert retrieval, or PEER, which he scaled up to an unheard-of milestone of 1 million experts. Actually, there are computational reasons why the number of experts works better if it's a perfect square. So the precise number is 1024 squared, which is slightly more than 1 million. Two key strategies were used to achieve this. The first was product keys, which are a type of memory structure that uses hashing and nearest neighbor search in order to enable efficient retrieval of information, without the need to examine every possible key or neuron one by one. Together with this, the key innovation was that each expert is a single neuron. In a traditional implementation, each expert might be a complete neural network, or at least a significant part of one. So a single neuron expert takes granularity all the way to the theoretical limit, opening up the way to a very fine-tuned and diverse set of experts, while allowing massive scale of experts without correspondingly large resource cost. Let's visualize how this works. A query is generated from an input. That query is then compared to those product keys we mentioned just now, which are used to identify the best experts to engage. You might have noticed that these keys have 2 dimensions, which is for computational efficiency. The most relevant keys will be included among these. Now come the experts. By the way, the design of peer allows neurons to be shared among experts, which improves model efficiency and knowledge transfer. Next, the experts submit their responses in the normal way, which are weighted and combined, leading to the final output response. Other methods that exist today retrieve data in the form of tokens or chunks or a knowledge graph or memory vectors. But this new method retrieves experts instead of data. And as we saw, this approach outperforms traditional transformers by a big distance. So, where does this take us next? Well, aside from expanding the capabilities of our models to a scale of millions of experts, which would make them more powerful, there's a particular use case that's quite relevant, and that is continuous data streams, which can maybe now scale to lifelong learning. And that's quite important because current methods can sometimes update experts in a way that causes them to forget important information. But with this, the authors ask us to imagine an ever-expanding pool of experts without any known limits. That's a powerful idea. So, I think we'll see a lot of follow-up testing that builds on the ideas presented in this paper. Meanwhile, thanks for watching and see you next time.